Hello viewers, this is Shubhatra and today we are going to discuss about rancidity. In this video lecture we can detail about different types of rancidity as well as what are the preventive measures for rancidity. So let's get started. Rancidification is a process of complete or incomplete oxidation or hydrolysis. This oxidation and hydrolysis of fats and oils occurs when they are exposed to air, light, moisture or by any bacterial action, and all of these can result in unpleasant taste and odor. Lipid oxidation and hydrolysis are the major reasons that causes food deterioration, and it caused by the action of fats and oils with molecular oxygen in oxidation, and in hydrolysis reaction with water occurs, and both of these reactions can lead to off flavors and can have impact on nutritive value too, and this is called as rancidity. Exposure to light, pro-oxidants and elevated temperature can accelerate the reaction. Rancidity causes damage to the food and makes them unfit to consume. If we talk about examples, then the first example, when we open a chips packet and it is exposed to atmospheric air, it results in change in taste and odor. Or the second example, when an oil bottle remains open for a long period of time during storage, the oil becomes black in color as well as there is bad smell in the oil. Or the third example is the rancidity of butter, which can change the taste and odor of the butter. The change in taste and odor are produced because of the production of short chain aldehydes and short chain ketones. Along with these short chain aldehydes and short chain ketones, there are production of free fatty acids which may be volatile or non-volatile, and also there is a production of peroxides, and all these can result in objectionable taste and odor and can also have impact on nutritive value too. The rancid oil does contains free radicals that can increase the risk of developing diseases such as cancer or heart diseases. Chemicals such as peroxides and aldehydes can damage cells and contribute to atherosclerosis. By these actions, a person cannot immediately fall ill but can cause harm over passing time. So we must not use rancid oil for cooking purposes. By this figure we can also able to understand the change in color, that is most of the fresh oils are yellowish in color, but after rancidity they become blackish in color, which are also objectionable in the taste. There are three main pathways for rancidification. The first is the hydrolytic rancidity, the second is the oxidative rancidity, the third is the microbial rancidity, and one by one we can detail all of them. Now coming to the hydrolytic rancidity. Hydrolytic rancidity refers to the odor that develops when triglycerides are hydrolyzed and free fatty acids are released. This is the reaction of lipid with water which results in the formation of free fatty acids and the glycerol. This is the reaction in which the triglyceride when treated with water can result in the formation of glycerol and the free fatty acids, and we have already detailed about hydrolysis in our previous lecture. The fatty acids which are produced are volatile in nature, and the production of butyric acid in the hydrolysis makes the oil objectionable in the taste and odor. Now coming to the oxidative rancidity. Oxidative rancidity is associated with the degradation by oxygen in air. The double bonds of unsaturated fatty acid can be cleaved by free radical reactions involving molecular oxygen. This is a chemical reaction catalyzed by heat, UV light, heavy metals and oxygen. The reaction is very spontaneous in nature, so also referred as auto-oxidation. The reaction because occurs through free radical mechanism, so it involves three steps, that is the chain initiation, the chain propagation and the chain termination. This is the three-step mechanism The first step is the chain initiation, in which there is attack of free radical on the lipid. The second is the chain propagation, in which the fatty acid radical reacts with oxygen. And the third is the chain termination, in which the radicals stops to react. This is the diagram by which we can understand the three-step mechanism. The first step is initiation step, in which the hydroxide ion will take out this hydrogen. This hydrogen is the hydrogen which is adjacent to the double bond. We can take an unsaturated lipid, because unsaturated lipids or the polyunsaturated, whether it is polyunsaturated or monounsaturated, they are more prone to oxidation. So unsaturated lipid, in which the hydrogen which are adjacent to the double bond is taken out by this hydroxide free radical and results in removal of water, and this is the chain initiation step. The second step is the propagation step, in which the lipid radical which is formed in the chain initiation step can result in the formation of lipid peroxyl radical due to the addition of this oxygen. Both of the oxygen will add here and result in lipid peroxyl radical, and when this lipid peroxyl radical reacts with another molecule of unsaturated lipid, it results in lipid peroxide formation and another lipid radical formation. This is the chain propagation step, which is repeated again and again. Let's understand the propagation step by this figure. This is the free radical of the lipid which can form the peroxyl radical. The free radical of the lipid can react with the oxygen to form the peroxy radical. Here both of the oxygen will add on the peroxyl radical. This peroxy radical will react with the new fatty acid molecule in the next step. The new fatty acid molecule will result in the hydroxy peroxide molecule and one more free radical. And this propagation process is repeated again and again until the termination does not proceeds. Now the last step is the chain termination step, in which the two lipid radicals, this is the lipid radical, in which the two lipid radicals react and converted into peroxide and oxygen, and there is no other lipid radical remains, so the reaction is terminated. Now coming to the microbial rancidity. Microbial rancidity refers to a water dependent process in which the microorganisms such as bacteria or molds use their enzymes such as lipase to break down the fat. This is the process in which different microorganisms can use lipase to break down the fat. And what are the preventive measures for microbial rancidity is the pasteurization or addition of any antioxidant such as vitamin E can reduce the process by destroying or inhibiting the microorganisms. Now what are the preventions to rancidity? We can use antioxidants, antimicrobial agents, oxygen scavengers, etc. to reduce the rancidity. Antioxidants are used as preservatives in fat containing foods to delay the onset or slow the development of rancidity due to oxidation. Antioxidants may be of two types, that is the natural antioxidants and the synthetic antioxidants. The natural antioxidants include ascorbic acid like vitamin C and tocopherols, that is vitamin E. The synthetic antioxidants include butylated hydroxyanizole, butylated hydroxytoluene, TBHQ, propyl gallate and ethoxyquine. The second prevention is use of antimicrobial agents, and they are used to prevent rancidification by inhibiting the growth of bacteria. The third is oxygen scavengers. Oxygen scavengers such as citric acid and ascorbic acid are also used for prevention of rancidity. What is oxygen scavengers? Oxygen scavengers can also be replaced by the term oxygen absorbers, and these can help to remove or decrease the level of oxygen in the package. So antioxidant, antimicrobial agents and oxygen scavengers can maintain product safety and extend the shelf life. Along with this, the use of antioxidant, antimicrobial agents and oxygen scavengers, we can also prevent rancidification by storing fats and oils in cool and dark place with little exposure to oxygen or free radicals, since heat and light can accelerate the rate of reaction of fats and oxygen. So this is all about rancidity. We can further discuss about the fatty acid constants which are used for the analysis of fats and oils on our next lecture. Thank you for watching.